Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good. So I am Namrata, and I have with me Shritama, and we are teaching
Hello.
this course called Introduction to Graphic Design, and we are from IIT Hyderabad. So yes, you all can start with your questions one by one, or you can also put it in the chat box as well. So are you asking about the final exam pattern? Right. So it will be a mix of both MCQ and subjective. Um, Usually the subjective would be a little more. The weightage should be a little more. It might be 40-60. Yeah. Theory as in yes, because you have to draw or draft something, and you might have to, there might be a particular theme or an idea that might be given to you. So you have to draw or draft something around, design something around that. And you might have to explain the idea or the concept, whatever, let's say, for example, you need to design something with the Gestalt theory or the principles of design. So you might have to explain your idea of, using the elements. So a basic concept note, yes. So it will be most of it to draw or design. Example, let's say you might be asked to design a poster around a particular theme, and you can explain it with your concept or whatever colors or principles you are using it. Yes, usually for the final, you won't be allowed with, calculators or anything digital as such. But yes, you are most welcome to bring all your pens, color pencils, everything. And how can we handle, which type of question can we expect? Yeah, it would be something from what you have learned. Like I said, like an example, you might be asked to design a poster, maybe, depending based on a particular theme. You will be given a context. Let's say, for example, you need to design a poster for an event in your college or somewhere, and then, so you'll be asked to use any of the things that you have learned. Yes, week four subjection. It will come. Give it some time, it will reflect soon. Yeah, like I said, theory as such, there won't be like complete theoretical questions, more about designing something and a little bit of the explanation part. Yes, not completely descriptive for sure. Not a complete theory question, a mix of both. Yes, your questions will be based on the assignments. I won't say only just all, it can be anything. Like you have principles, you have elements, you have just all for logo design. It could be anything.
हेलो मैम।
Yes. Yes, depend, please.
मैम, आर यू कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी और आई?
I'm okay with Hindi and English both.
ओके ओके ओके, थैंक यू थैंक यू। मैम, मुझे ये पूछना था, लाइक
जी।
हम लोग का जो एग्जाम पैटर्न होने वाला है उसमें
हाँ जी।
सॉफ्टवेयर यूटिलाइज हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है?
यूजुअली सॉफ्टवेयर हम अलाउ नहीं, मतलब कोई टूल एज सच अलाउ नहीं करते। मोस्टली पेन पेपर कलर पेंसिल्स,
ओके, सो ये
डिजिटल
पूरा
हम अलाउ नहीं करते। हाँ जी।
पूरा पूरा क्लासिकल बेस्ड होने वाला है, लाइक?
यस, ये जो एमसीक्यूज होंगे वो तो आपको कंप्यूटर बेस्ड होंगे।
ओके
और आपको शीट मिलेगा, उस पे आपको करके यू हैव टू अपलोड इट।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू मैम।
जी। पूजा पूछ रही है एडवांस कोर्स। या Yeah, we are also planning on that. We cannot say exactly, but yes, definitely something more advanced because right now it is more basic. And yeah, in future we might have advanced course. Weightage for subjective and MCQ, like I said, it might be 40-60 or can also be 50-50 as well. Or drawing based questions, yeah, I think it would be because नए नए लोग join कर रहे हैं, so I think we are having repeated questions as well. Shritama, what we can do is we can put it down in the chat box, right? We can
Yeah.
pin,
Okay.
we can pin one or two. We can pick up the common question and we can also pin it, right?
Yeah.
Important topics, as in everything. I mean, whatever you have learned in your class. I mean, your online class and assignments. It will be something related to that. You can look, for example, you can look some famous, poster or logo designs. You have already learned it in your sessions, but apart from that, you can also look something different from that. But yeah, different type of posters or logo design, depending on a company, some company or some brand, how they kind of reflect their brand identity in those logos or in those posters. Sumavali is asking how to upload subject paper. Yes, definitely. It will be mentioned. You don't have to worry about that. You just have to maybe, usually scan it and make a PDF and upload it. So it's easy. You don't have to worry. Percentage of MCQ and subjective. Yeah, like I said, 40-60. Maybe usually 40 could be your MCQ and 60 or 50-50. That's it. We don't provide as such sample papers, but MCQs are just like how you are doing it now. And in your fourth week, you already got an idea about what kind of subjective questions they might ask you. So something similar, but maybe more detailed because it carries more marks.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes, Pooja.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, good evening, ma'am.
Good
I'm
evening,
truly
Pooja.
grateful
Please
for
tell.
this course because it gives us basics of design and principles and everything. I'm really grateful
Mhm.
for this course. And the question I'm going to ask is what type of portfolio should we create? Like, should we only put the designs or the process behind it also should be show. Yes.
Okay, so portfolio in general for putting up your work somewhere or looking for a job, you mean?
Yes, ma'am. Looking for job.
Okay, so let's say you have done, let's say 5 or 6 project or assignment. You should also put a little bit of your process, because someone might, the outcome is one thing, but somebody also likes to see the process, like how you have done it, right? So you don't have to put it like for everything, but maybe for few of your work, you can also show a little bit of your process.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Like, what was your concept? What was your idea behind designing it? Not too elaborately, but definitely, yes, you can, mention little bit more, a little creatively. You can put things together, explaining your idea or concept for your design. That should always be part of it.
And one more question, ma'am.
Sure.
In this age of AI, should we
Mhm.
also include AI in our designs?
AI in design is in exactly what do you mean? Because see, AI is there and there are tools that help us. Definitely, we can, always look for AI for some kind of support. But of course, as designers, we are, trying to be budding designers. And, we are the one who creates and bring things together, right? So taking a bit of support is okay, like in terms of the tools, like the software tools and all. But apart from then, the idea and the concept should come from you, from ourselves. But using a supportive tool that helps you in creating the product or any design is okay.
Yes, yes.
I
And
mean,
what
just,
more?
to look for inspiration or to help is okay.
Yes. And in what more ways we can use AI then?
That's what I said. Like as supporting tool, it is okay, because there are a lot of softwares that AI, software tools that AI can provide. They can help us segregate things. So that way it is good.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Harsh is asking material, like yes, you will be allowed all of these things, except apart from digital tools, you can carry any medium, colors, pencils, sketch pens, anything, watercolor, whatever. Can we use software tools? Oh no, it's mostly hand draft, yeah. Because this is a very basic course and you are learning. So we would appreciate if you do not use the tools initially. Yes, apart from digital tools, yes, correct.
Ma'am.
Last year, paper as such, we don't circulate it, but then, like I said, the MCQs, you already have an idea because you are doing this weekly assignment. So it's something very similar, and and everything is from your assignment mostly. And subjective, I already gave you examples. You also did your weekly 4 assignment. So it is going to be something similar, but more detailed description, or maybe use of a little more of the principles or elements in it compared to what you got in your week 4.
Hello, ma'am. Does this NPTEL certificate will help us to get job? It's-
um that's quite a broad question. I mean, see, it is a very basic course. Definitely it's going to add to your portfolio, right? But yeah, I mean, getting a job is a whole different thing. It depends on how you create your portfolio and how you are able to present your work, right? But definitely it's going to, add to your portfolio for sure.
yes. Thank you.
Because then it gives you more credibility in terms of that you have taken up a certain course and you have a certificate for it. That means you have learned, something in a more structured way. And then what you create out of you is completely on you. Okay? Yeah. In the theory-based questions that can be. So there is no theory-based question as such for the subjective, like I mentioned earlier. It is most like designing something with a little bit of supportive concept or idea. You can explain your design. That's it. See, again, advanced graphic course, you are going to learn more in detail. And like I also explained it to Pooja, I think it's, getting a job. Definitely, it helps you, these certificates, and you will get to go deeper into the subject, do more, complex forms and practice with more design, tools. And you will be exposed to more, the kind of software tools that you can use and all. But again, like I said, how you present your work, that will take you forward, right? Recommend how we prepare for the subjective questions. One example is already the one you got in your week 4. And otherwise, you can look for some of the questions from other entrance exams. Let's say NID, NIFT, they have these kind of subjective questions. So you can just, for an idea, you can look up those question papers. Some of the old question papers are usually available online or on their websites. You can just check. The scores will reflect soon. Any other question? It's not that complicated. Ma'am, will there be board MCQ? Yes, I think you have joined it. Now we have pinned some questions, the common questions you can go through, but I'll repeat it again. So it's a combination of both MCQ and subjective. Subjective could be maybe one question or might be two questions. For example, let's say if it is 40 and 60, so there might be 40 MCQ, like, 40 marks for MCQ. It could be 40 questions or it could be 20 questions as well with 2 marks each, like you already have it now. And for example, there could be one subjective question of 60 marks, or there might be two subjective questions of 30 each. So that is usually the pattern. And I would suggest you go through the videos, once again, and whatever you have learned, everything is going to, it's also your observation skills. So you need to, observe. I mean, whatever you have heard, whatever you have seen in the presentation, just go through it again, and I think that should be good. I could then submit week 2 and 3 assignments. Okay, maybe you can write an email. And then the team will see what can be done about it. Pooja is asking about networking. Um, yes, not directly related to the subject right now. But then yes, I mean any kind of field definitely, Networking is always good. Nikhil is asking beginner level course. You can look up for more advanced course if you are interested, or you can also, you can learn certain software tools that helps you design the things that you learn, right? These are the basics, what it is about, how we, the basics of how we design, the basic elements, the basic principles. So you have an idea now. So either you can look for an advanced course online, or you can also learn certain software tools that can help you do your work. And you can practice, you can see, like I said, you can look up to certain brand logos and their company profiles. And there are so many online things, right? You can look it up and you can see and compare what kind of principles or what kind of theories they have used. And you can create your, let's say, for example, you learn, let's say, Illustrator or Photoshop, and you can practice, those things. The more you practice and look, you will get more idea about it. So Vachit is asking for a certificate. Yes, definitely it will add to your portfolio. Yeah, at least let's say 40%. You don't have to worry about it. It's all good. Yes, sure, Harsh. If you don't have any other queries, you can leave the session. No worries. How to develop design eye. Yes, Kamali. Yes. Can you be more precise, as in Pooja, what exactly you want to know?
Hello, ma'am. Yes, I meant how to be more observant and um, register everything which we look in posters or the inspiration which we get.
See, for any designer or any artist, I mean, number one is observation. You observe things, and whatever is, firstly, your surrounding, objects, nature, anything, first is observation, and then, you go through certain courses or education, like you have taken up this course to know about graphic design, somebody takes up some other course, and you get to know the basics, and then you need to practice, right? And also you need to keep yourself updated with what all things are there in the market related to your design, your product. There are different form of designing, different type of designs. So design field, I mean to say, so whatever is related to your design field, be it graphic design or product design or fashion design. So you have to keep yourself up to date with whatever is happening around you or in the market related to that design thing. And yeah, and eventually with practice, with experience, you will develop that. Yes, Acharya, you can Archaya, if I'm not wrong. Yes, you can leave a mail and they will see what it can be done. I can't improve design scene. Can you explain exactly, Subhajit? Like I said, you need a bit of practice, little by little, every day. You can always use helping tools, and yeah, a bit of practice, and that will help you eventually. Yeah, like I said, there could be two questions of 30-30 each or single 60-mark question. And you might be asked to design like an example I said, let's say you might be asked to design a poster related to a particular event or, a theme. And you will be kind of marked based on certain, like, for example, the design idea, how you have explained the concept. So they will have, different fragments or the neatness. So they will all have different marking for that. But it won't be like to design multiple things. It will be mostly one single comprehensive question. But marking will be based on would be divided into various segments. So Nikhil is asking about the portfolio. Okay. So, to certain extent, yes, of course, because these are the basics that you have learned. And that also shows that, sometimes, like I said, you can show the process of making it and also kind of your journey. Of course, the way you present it also matters, but yes, you can always show your journey, that how you started with the kind of projects you did, and now with experience, where you have come. Should that also kind of shows your progress as a designer eventually. The sheet for making poster will be given, or we have to, yeah, it will be given. Is color the most important element for catching attention, or is it value, light versus dark more important for readability? So are you asking in terms of a poster?
Yes, ma'am.
No, it is never one element, right? It depends on also the theme or the type of poster you are designing, for what you are designing, for whom you are designing. So all that, that will decide, I mean, which element should highlight more. But at the end of it, all the elements are important. But depending on what type of poster, what brand, what they want to convey through that poster, um, it will depend which element is more dominating in that.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, the questions would mostly come from your assignments and whatever you have learned in the video sessions. It would be mostly related to that. Course material, yes. Yeah. Any other questions? We'll be happy to answer. For your subjective, yeah, the evaluation criteria could be your, the composition, how you have composed the design, the quality of the drawing, also your, imaginative skills, let's say, how creative you have gone in terms of visualizing the design, attention to the details, and the concept write-up.
Yes, you can start your portfolio whenever you feel you're ready, and it should have your best works. So when you're done with your works, then you can start building your portfolio. And regarding when a design is finished, you have to see when you feel that your design has all the elements that you visualize that you wanted in it. So there is no as such checklist, but definitely you can check other people's works also on Behance, and there are lots of other resources you can use to get inspirations. And I feel that is how you observe a lot and see what other people are doing, and then you have this checklist where you can finally feel that your design is complete, and then you can start with that portfolio piece. Um, Minimalistic versus maximalistic should be the priority.
That's very
Uh,
subjective, actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
depends on.
depending on what
Mm.
the design is demanding at that particular situation, for whom or for what you are designing. So it depends on that. Sometimes, minimum information can also convey good design. Sometimes it might require a little more, information. So it totally depends. The course itself is a short, so just go through your course material, your session videos. That's it. Yeah. So that's why you have this weekly assignments. So you get an idea, right? How you have to do. So you already have an idea about the MCQ type of questions. So it would almost be, something similar. And from your week 4, you already got the idea about the subjective question. So that's it. Yeah. Well, Pooja, that is also subjective to a person because yeah, there are examples of companies like new startup. They also sometimes hire freshers directly, or sometimes they take you for internship, and if they like your work, they extend you know your internship, they convert it into a full-time job. So it depends, but doing an internship is always good. You get to know how a certain office kind of do the work. So you always get experience. So internship is always good. No, you don't have to bring anything to the exam hall as such. Just your hall ticket, your document, and whatever pencils, color, drawing tools, whatever you want. Not digital ones, but yes, physical tools, anything like, colors and all you can bring. It would be a combination. I mean, you have your MCQs, and then you might have to draw and color and then upload it digitally. Yes.
No, I don't think if you create a design in grayscale, it will there'll be any significant difference. It has to be a good composition. It has to be rich visually, and it has to look good, and has to fulfill design principles of whatever the question is asking for. So it won't make any difference if you're doing it in grayscale.
Yeah, it depends on how comfortable you are using any particular type of color set. Somebody might be good in using crayon, somebody might be good with watercolor. So it will completely depend on whatever you are more experienced and comfortable with. The medium won't make a difference in terms of color, whatever you are good with. Yeah. Check some reliable sources when you are searching designs on, let's say, Google or, ChatGPT or anything. You should always cross-check the source. And you can also refer to certain books. You can also look sometimes into certain kind of, research articles or papers, which are more credible sources. And you can also look into, you can, let's say if you're into graphic design, you can look design pages of some well-known graphic designers. You can go through their websites. Are you
Um,
asking how the examiner is going to evaluate, or how one evaluates his own design?
if you want to know if what level you are in terms of your design skills, I think you have to see other people's work more. You have to
Yes.
um, see what kind of work is being produced by other people, and then you have to judge yourself based on that. If you have the required skills, or if you do similar kind of work, I feel you'll understand the difference.
So go check out some good portfolios online, Behance, or you can go to the websites of, let's say, NID or NIFT or things like that, or any other institution. Sometimes they also have their students' work, portfolio or work uploaded, and you can check Behance for sure.
You can check IIT Hyderabad's student portal
Correct.
also. Yeah, we have
Yes,
good
we also
student
have,
work.
yeah.
Yes.
Because software tool is something you can always, learn. If you practice, you will get it right. And but apart from that, how you are able to convey the idea, how you are able to convey the brand's idea or your design ideas. So one is thinking about an idea, and then executing the idea. And in terms of, let's say, graphic representations or posters or logos, the intended meaning has to come out from it, right? So that will eventually come with practice. And just to, like, Shritama mentioned, just for the starters, you can collect few portfolios, and you can look up to, where you want to achieve, how much you want to achieve. So you can set certain targets just to begin with.
Maybe use Pinterest as a inspiration. If you want to search for inspos, then maybe use Pinterest. But other than that, if you want to look for portfolio references, try to use other um, websites like Behance or other student portfolios, where you will
Because,
actually
yeah,
see, yeah, the kind of work students are doing.
because let's say somebody has done a bachelor's or a master's, a more formal education in a particular field. And especially in these behind portfolios, and all students also, or in this college website, students have their portfolios wherein they also show the process. So you get to know, and it's more authentic that way. Pinterest is just an image. So that is good to just sometimes take reference or inspiration, but otherwise, you should always go with proper portfolios of, college students or Behance, for example. So they have the process shown. So it's more authentic, and you can see how they have developed certain kind of design, or what is the idea behind it. Any other questions? We are here for another 10 minutes. It's 7:50 right now.
Ma'am, I'm asking that the certificate which we get will be used in our portfolios or in our CVs we can use?
Yes, yes, 100% you can use it in your CV because, because you're getting a certificate and, it is guided by um, senior professors and all. So definitely you can use it in your CV
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, the
because
one
that
more
shows you have
question.
taken a formal, like a formal, course.
Okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, the certificate will be used in another things also,
Another thing is in,
like for job, like for a job application or like that.
yes, you can always use it.
It will help. The certificate is like that. It will help me to.
Like I said before, it adds to your portfolio in the sense to your CV, and it gives an idea that you have taken up a formal course. So that definitely helps. But apart from that, you also have to work on your portfolio, the designs. Just one certificate would not help, right? It is an added thing to help you know the field and the subject. But
Okay.
apart from that, you have to, of course, how you present your work. So
Okay.
everything,
Okay.
it's not
Okay,
one
ma'am.
single thing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Is it possible to get into teaching?
For this, I think there are UGC guidelines that you have to have a professional degree to be able to teach in this field. So I
Yes.
think if you are looking forward to going into teaching, I would say you get a professional degree there.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Hmm.
Sometimes if you are, let's say you teaching is not your forte and, you want to go into the industry, then yes, like, with lot of practice, if you have a good eye for design, um, yeah, you can collaborate sometimes. But like Shitama mentioned, for teaching, definitely full-time teaching, of course, no, you have to go further and you can use it to get an idea how how they develop concept or how they explain a concept, but at the end of it, depending on the design requirement, because every design requirement is different, right?
I would like to add to that. I would also suggest if you are a beginner, then at first you do not use AI.
Yes.
You try to do it by your own, and then later stages you can use AI definitely.
Correct, correct. Because the more we are dependent on AI tools like these, it kinds of like, gradually diminishes our ability to think more creatively. So it is good as a helping tool once you already, have an idea and you are doing work in this field, and then to kind of support it is good, but in the beginning, definitely not. That's the reason in the beginning we also, ask you to kind of do it more manually so that you understand it more. And then eventually, when you are good at it, you can, always use software tools. You can leave a mail depending on the situation. I mean, they will decide and get back to you. And if there is any other question or any doubts, or if you want help with some references, you can always mail us and we'll get back to you. Pooja, if you really intend to give the exams, missed ones, maybe you mail it at the earliest. Not all company, we cannot say that. Maybe some of them use and some of them don't use, but mostly they use it like a support tool, like I said. Initially, you have to think about the idea and, the concept. To deliver it, you can maybe use tools at a later stage, yes.
I think there is a lot of authority still available for humans. You do not need to be afraid of AI. You can use it as
Yes.
a supportive tool to build your designs and ideate. Um, and we are still in charge of executing and making the art. So AI is still not that good at doing what we are capable of doing. And
And when you design
yeah,
for, you design a product or anything like, there are a lot of other factors just than the visuals, okay? There are a lot of other factors that counts when you design for a big company or a big brand. There are many other factors which AI cannot do. They can give you basic layout, but then there are a lot of other things that goes into making it. So that definitely AI cannot do. And that's where we come in as designers. 2 more minutes. I would say it's in a gray zone, it's in between. Sometimes it's also helpful to help, like a tool, it is helpful, okay? And like we said, we don't have to be scared for it. When we are looking at bigger things, bigger companies, reaching greater heights in terms of design, then definitely it's more than just what AI can do. It takes hold the company's emotions, the brand identity, lot of things. Okay, so here we come to an end of the session, and it was nice interacting with you. And if you have any other questions, Shritama has already mentioned, you can mail it to us, to the NPTEL team, and we'll get back. Okay, have a nice evening, everyone. Hello, Mr. Mahesh. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Um, I think we can exit now.
Yeah, can we
Um, yeah,
end this
Mr. Mahesh.
session for everyone?
Yeah, I think we can exit, right?
We can
Yes.
leave the meeting, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Shritama, for joining. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Namrata. Yes.
Bye bye.
Sure, ma'am. I will end the session, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.